What is going on, guys? My name is Fernandoherrera, and today we're going to be talking about 7 ways that you can make your wallet fatter. Or in other words, how to not make your wallet become lean if you already have a fat wallet. But specifically, these lessons are going to be coming from a good book, The Richest Man in Babylon. Last week, we actually spoke about 3 ways or 3 rules on how to make money work for you, or 3 rules that you have to do in order to manage wealth. Let's put it that way. And this week, in the chapters that we're going to be covering, we're going to be talking about the 7 ways that you can actually increase your wealth, or more specifically, how to make your wallet become fatter, or in this case, your bank account become bigger. And so let's go ahead and jump in. Now, before we do jump in, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and remember that every Monday I go and talk about a specific book that we're reading for the quarter, because oftentimes you read books and you pretty much go like, wow, this is a great book, but you don't actually put it into effect. And so the purpose of these videos is to actually read, follow what the lesson's trying to tell us, and then see how we're implementing it into our own life. So the first part of this video, which is this part, which we're going to be starting right now, is going to be like the backstory and the actual lessons of the book. And then the last part of the video is going to be how I'm applying each and every single one of these lessons personally. So hopefully you guys can kind of relate, or definitely feel free to share any ways that you guys are following these 7 rules on how to make your bank account or your wallet become fatter. Alright guys, so I am using a summary from online from tolufirmpong.com, so kudos to them, or all the credits go to them, and specifically to this, summary. But let's go ahead and start talking about the 7 cures for a lean purse. Now, in chapter 3, apparently it's chapter 3, the king pretty much, right here we can see King Sargon is worried about how the city, Babylon, pretty much what we've known so far is that it's a successful kingdom and they were building a lot of stuff, but suddenly all that progress finished, all the palaces were finished, and now people are not having as much money as before. So the king pretty much asks himself, why is it that only so few little people are rich and wealthy and all the rest are struggling to even get something to eat? And so his advisor pretty much tells him, well, king, it's because some people know how to make more money and some people don't. So that's when the king says, well, let's go and find out the person who knows most about making money. And so this counselor, I guess, tells him, well, that would be a pretty easy to answer question. That would be the person who has the most wealth in the whole city. And in this case, it was Arcad. If you remember Arcad, our friend, we spoke about him on our last video again, which I'll link somewhere here. But we explained how he was not wealthy and how he became wealthy in our last video. So now he's become the richest man in Babylon. So the king summons him, and the king tells him, hey, you know what? We want you to teach people how to become wealthy because you know what you're doing. You're obviously the richest person here. And so it's good for people to follow your advice because you've proven it yourself. You have experience. So then Arcad goes and says, build me a team of 100 people and I'll go ahead and set some practical rules, which I'm going to show to them and explain to them. And then hopefully they could teach others and we can all prosper together. So that's when they get the 100 people, and Arcad starts sharing these 7 cures for a lean purse. Now, number 1 is your income is your first wealth generator. Save at least 10%. So he goes and asks everybody, look, what do you do? Well, I carve this, and I am a brick maker, and I'm a bread maker. And so everybody has a profession and works. So he's saying, well, all of you guys have the ability to become wealthy because you have income coming in. So the first thing to prevent, or the first cure for a lean purse in this case, is to make sure you're saving, right? So out of every 10 coins that you get paid, you have to leave 1 out of, your normal expenses. And so he explains how this will increase your self-esteem or your confidence and will make you feel better, right? Then the second is control your expenditure. We kind of spoke something about similar last video, but this is, budget your expenses. So you don't just go and spend, you actually want to budget and kind of have an idea of how much you're budgeting. Obviously you want to keep 10% to yourself, so you want to make sure you don't go above that 90% threshold. And that's what he explains, that if you control your expenditure, that's a cure for a lean purse. And then number 3 would be make your gold multiply. What this means is that you put your gold to work, or your money to work. So the way he sees it, again, it's more like passive income. So once you are already having specific coins in savings, you don't want to just leave them there. You want to make them work for you and make more money, because that will, again, a fat purse is something that runs out. However, if you have a good revenue stream, it's something that's much more attractive. So the rule number 4, the fourth cure, is guard your treasures from loss. And then here he explains how when he was young, he gave all his savings to a brick maker to go and buy some jewels from a country, and he was going to come back and make some money. However, the brick maker didn't know anything about jewels and he lost all his money. So here he explains how you want to guard your treasure from loss. You don't want to just go and follow these risky investments, because if you're going for more money, in terms of returns, then you run a higher risk. And if you're very risky, then eventually you do run the risk of losing all your money, and then you have a lean purse again. So he says, make sure you protect your treasures. And then number 5 is make thy of dwelling a profitable investment. So this pretty much, he explains that you should own your own home. This reduces your cost of living and means more money for yours to keep. He goes and explains how you, again, will get more self-confidence if you have your own home. Your wife, your family, everybody will be happier in general. And then number 6 is ensure a future income. So not only just thinking for today, but actually thinking of the day that you will be old and can't work anymore. So, or even he goes as far as saying the day you're not here, making sure that your family's protected, making sure that the family has enough income, and really income, not even just money, but making sure that they have a sustainable income and you have your sustainable income. And so he kind of explains all this in detail in terms of examples and how you can make this happen. Okay, and number 7 is increase your ability to earn. So pretty much what this means is the more you learn, the more you earn. So never stop learning. You always want to push yourself in learning new stuff, and learning new crafts, or increasing your skills, let's put it that way. And so this will guarantee you to have it's a cure for a leaner purse. All right, so now that we reviewed over the 7 cures for a lean purse, I'm going to be explaining how I'm taking or approaching each one of these. So number 1 is your income is your wealth generator. So in this case, you have to save 1 coin out of every 10 tokens that you get. That's 10%. In my case, I'm automatically deducting from my direct deposit, from my paycheck, automatically 10% goes into a savings account that I don't see it, and it's just there. So that's how I'm following the first cure. Number 2, control your expenditure. So if you were to ask me how much I spend exactly in fast food, rent, utility, shopping, or going out, I could tell you exactly. And that's because I use mint.com. They're not sponsored or anything, but this tool is definitely very helpful. It helps me budget, and it helps me know, kind of like, it connects all my bank accounts, my credit cards, and I can properly categorize everything. It does take anywhere between 2 to 3 hours to maintain every month. However, the benefits I get out of this allows me to be very on point as to where my money is going. And that's why I'm an enemy of cash, because anytime I spend cash, I don't know where my money is going. However, when I use a credit card or a debit card, I know exactly where my money is going. And if I'm spending too much in a specific category, that I stop it immediately, and that's how I control my expenditures. Another thing I do want to point out is I do control myself fairly well in temptation. So if I want a new car, a new pair of shoes, a new pair of clothes, I normally ask myself, do I want it or do I need it? And if the thing is that I want it, then I normally try to stay away of it. If I need it, then I go ahead and buy it without remorse because I need it. The third cure for a lean purse and how I'm applying it is make your gold multiply. So don't just let it sit in the bank, but I'm actually, the way I'm doing mine, or how I'm allowing my money to grow, is through businesses right now, through drop shipping businesses, call center businesses, and then just stable coins. I do get a 10 to 12% APR of just stable coins that I stake. And so right now I'm actually pretty satisfied with that. I do have stocks, but again, those are very volatile and kind of go up and down. Same with my crypto. Stable coins normally preserve their value, and it's like just the dividend that I get every week, which is quite nice. So the fourth cure to a lean purse is guard your treasures from loss. Now this is something that's one of my weaknesses, and this I have to continue to improve. But cryptocurrency is one of them. I mean, I try to put a lot of my money into cryptocurrency thinking that I'm gonna make a lot of money or more money. And honestly, I've lost quite a lot of money that if I had not done some things, I would probably have a good amount of money So again, long story short is I'm trying to chase down these crypto coins that are promising great returns. At the end, I get bite and lose my money, and it's all because of greed. Same thing is because I follow people on YouTube sometimes that they recommend me buying something specifically, which again, I have not even validated if they themselves are experts at this, or why should I be even listening? It kind of falls to that example of that guy or Arcad putting his money with a brickmaker, and how the brickmaker was buying jewelry or jewels. So well, he didn't know anything about jewels. He knew about brick making, but not jewels. So that's how I still need to improve in this step. But I think that, again, for me, just being very aware, listening to only people who know what they're doing or have experience. And I think that I'm starting as I grow older to become more risk adverse. So something that's a lot more riskier, I try to stay away from it. Something that's a little more secure, I kind of try and join in. Now, the fifth cure for a lean purse is make thy dwelling a profitable investment. Luckily for me, I do own my own house. However, I financed it. So I guess it's owning it, but not really, because if I happen to lose my job, my income and everything, I do lose my job, my house in this case, I mean. So it's good, but it's not that good. Hopefully, I guess in my mind should be, how do I pay off at least one house so that if anything were to happen, I always at least have one house to live in. However, it is a lot more cheaper to own your house, even if you're financing, because for me, my mortgage right now in Las Vegas for a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom is around $1,200 that I got like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, the mortgage. And now if I were to just rent a similar house, it would go anywhere between $1,500 to $1,700 a month. So just think about it. Right now I'm paying $1,200 a month. I'm paying much less. And a lot of that, or part of that money, is actually going towards the equity of the house. So I'm actually paying down the house. So you can already see how I'm at a huge advantage compared to someone who's just renting. And so that's why you should really strive to buying your own house. Even if it's a hot market, I think that if you're gonna keep it for the long term, 15 to 20 years, it's much better than paying just rent. The sixth cure for a lean purse and how I'm applying it is the ensure a future income. This is actually something I haven't thought as much, which I should. And I think that right now the only thing I have is a life insurance. So if I happen to do, if I happen to die or something, my kids or my family, my wife in this case, would get a small portion of $50,000, which is not even that much. So I might consider getting a bigger life insurance, and then maybe also starting to do some of these businesses under my wife's name, in case something does happen to me, then there's a steady income. I try to automate everything as much as possible so that the business does not consist in my ability or my skill. But again, it's something that's still going to take me 5, 10, maybe 15 more years. And so you never know, right? So I do have to think a little bit more about how do I protect my family. But at the same time, I think I am doing a good job in covering myself for when I'm older, if I do happen to live by then, and getting a stable income so I don't have to work anymore. And again, that's all through businesses, that I'm growing right now. And then finally, the seventh cure and how I'm using it, or how I'm applying the knowledge in this book, increase your ability to earn. For me, books are actually really good ways of stimulating my mind and learning new things. So reading books is something that I continue to do and learning. I also try to look for ways to work smarter, not harder. I normally do kind of time output versus the actual gain that I get. So for example, if I'm going to be working on a specific project, I ask myself, how much am I going to benefit compared to how much time I'm going to put? And if the benefit is just not there, or if I have other projects that have greater benefit, then normally I tend to push off the projects that the benefit is just not there. I have thought about going back to school, doing an MBA, but I hate to admit this, I really just don't have time. I really am going to try to push myself to make time, because I do think that school and education is important. I already do have an accounting degree, but again, I do enjoy learning new strategies and just going to school. So that's something to think about, and maybe in 2023. But overall, I think that's it, guys, for this chapter. I mean, it was pretty cool. I really like this. These are 7 cures for a lean purse. I hope you got something out of this. Again, this book has really helped me kind of establish and ask myself these things. But let me know in the comment section below, are you following all these 7 cures? Do you really think these are appropriate or applicable to you. And if there's any ways that has like any sort of skill or strategy that you would like to share with me on something that you feel you're doing, then definitely feel free to comment below. I'm always definitely reading these comments. So thank you again, guys, for watching, for joining us today. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.